25657, and building check 2627, electronic fund transfers, payroll for township police and fire departments for September 2024 is $146,970.80.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Denise? Motion carried. County report. Wayne.
Good evening. We held our committee of the whole meeting for the month of October last week. One of the things that our board has done last few years is we'll call a once-a-year meeting at the historic courthouse, which we are again doing this year on November 14th at 9 a.m. It'll be in the main courtroom of the historic courthouse downtown here. One of the other things we're working on is trying to get our ARPA dollars under contract. Guidance from the federal government on the ARPA funds says they have to be under contract by December 31st, or whatever we don't have, we would lose. So part of that is, we did this last week, is authorize some repairs and some new skimmers for the water park at General Squire Park. Another part is things we're doing with the ARPA funds is trying to replace old equipment around the county. While we have extra funds to do it, so we're also replacing all the HVAC equipment at the courthouse downtown, the CMH building, the jail, the DHHS building, and the health department, all using ARPA funds. We adopted the 2024 apportionment report, the L4029. Which you are probably familiar with. Accepted the fiscal year 2025 Community Corrections Services Grant, recommended by Thumb Area Regional Community Corrections Advisory Board. Approved our fiscal year 24-25 contract for opiate and meth treatment programs for jail. Also voted to accept the fiscal year 2025 access and visitation grant. What that grant does is pays for children that are in state custody and foster care when they have visitation granted with a parent, but they can't have it unsupervised. That pays for somebody to be part of that parental visitation to supervise that. Also authorize our annual payment, our matching funds of $6,000 to BAAA, the Valley Area Agency on Aging, for senior services. They do respite meals and fun senior activities around the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Public time.
Hello, Susan, Huff, 5047 Blood Road. How are you all tonight? Back in February, because I was told we had to file complaints in writing, we couldn't just make verbal complaints, I filed 3 complaints about ordinances that were not being enforced. And I've never received a written response like I've asked. The Planning Commission did, in a way, respond because they started reworking the sign ordinance, since my complaints dealt with the sign ordinance. That's 8 months. And I haven't decided if it's ineptitude or disregard for the master plan and our ordinances, but I feel like we need a new planning commission here, a planning commission, and a new zoning administrator. 2 months ago, I believe it was, the planner that we all paid for, from Rowe, came with a recommendation to approve the sign for a car wash with the condition that they remove the 6 non-compliant feather flags that were there, and the Planning Commission refused to consider that. They didn't care that there were non-compliant flags there. They said we're going to approve this sign request since the sign request is in order, and to hell with the non-compliant flags. We don't give a damn. discussing the sign ordinance. And the professional planner is asked by planning commission members, do we even need to have a sign ordinance? Well, if you look at our commercial strip, there's an answer to that. I could not believe those words were coming out of the mouths of the people that have been appointed to protect this community, follow the master plan, and enforce the ordinances. I hope that you will consider what your responsibility is to the people who are property owners in this community, as well as the business owners. I understand you have to balance that, but we all came here, I came here 35 years ago, moved from the Nipissing Lake area here. I've been here a while. I think I have standing, and I have a right to expect my community and my property values to be respected, and I have a right to expect my township board and my planning commissioner and my zoning administrator to enforce the ordinances that we have in place. Thank you.
Karen Pacheco, Village of Metamora. So I want to talk a little bit about the planning commission too, because when I came to the planning commission meeting last week, I picked up this agenda, which was the same one that Sue had sent me that I had requested, and there was nothing about the Best Barn item on it, and no one added it to the agenda. However, as the meeting went on, that was an agenda item. Everyone else knew it, everyone's sitting up there. I didn't know that in the audience, and so as a member of the community, I can't address what I don't know is going to be on the agenda. I don't know what's going to be relevant that day, and I get 3 minutes, and so I have to be, pick and choose what I'm going to talk about. And so the excuse was from Benjamin Keller, well, they just put that, they just turned that in on Monday. That gave everybody 2 business days to fix this. That is less than a 5-minute problem to fix this, and then Sue could have forwarded me the new agenda. So to me, and particularly, you'd think you'd want to be careful, because that is a family member of at least 2 of you up here. For the planning commission, multiple folks on the planning sitting up there, friend, family member, neighbor. So, gosh, we think we'd want to be transparent and open about that. And to me, it definitely felt like you're trying to hide something there. The planning commission meetings, I have brought this up multiple times, are still not ending up on the website. Last week's meeting was not on the township website calendar. I don't know why that's happening. It's a very simple thing that we as taxpayers pay for, and that you can take care of in less than 5 minutes. We couldn't get the agenda for this meeting. I would have had to, this meeting, to see what was going to be talked about today, I would have had to request it on Thursday. Just so you know, when we worked with Fire, they said, why aren't your agendas on the website so everyone can just go get them? And I'm like, well, they don't do that here. And so when you guys have a federal holiday off, but still a meeting, we can't get the agenda until we walk in the door, unless we thought about it days and days ahead of time. And look, we got to talk about this fire letter. You guys got this August 14th. You passed in March a policy, for a public time policy, that they said repeatedly in multiple ways unconstitutional. You guys had nothing on the agenda last month. Couldn't talk about it, couldn't bring it up. It's not on the agenda this month. But Fire did provide us with the draft policy that you provided them. And yet again, I talked about this last time, so many editing errors. Did this go through your lawyer? Because if it did, you need to fire your lawyer. These sentences don't even make sense. Again, I am an editor. This was 5 minutes of my pen. If I keep looking, I'm going to find more. These sentences don't make sense. You've got subjects that don't match verbs. You've got all kinds of comment issues. And that can really run you into legal trouble. And also, let's just have respect for basic standard American English and basic communication policies. Thank you.
Fire department, good evening.
Greg Wise, 1213 Cow Road, and I want to talk about the very important election that's coming up on November 5th. and particularly about the judicial races. I think they don't get nearly the amount of attention that the other races get. Here in Lapeer County, we're going to elect a new probate judge because the Metamora resident, Judge Justice Scott, has aged out. And Dennis McCarthy, whose office is in the village, is the only one on the ballot, so Dennis will be the new probate judge. Of course, right now, 3 of our 4 judges reside in Metamora Township. Judge Barnard, Judge Nolan, and Judge Scott. There'll still be 2. More importantly, we have 2 very important Supreme Court races. One is for a 4-year term. Justice McCormick retired in 23, allowing the governor to appoint her successor. She picked an individual who has no judicial experience, and in fact ran for the Supreme Court in 2022, having received the Democrat nomination, and she lost. She was the only Democrat that lost that year. The voters said no, but the governor decided to appoint her. Thankfully, our Constitution says she has to run the remaining 4 years. So that's the 4-year term. And we have a very good choice. Judge Patrick O'Brady from Coldwater County. He's been a circuit judge for 16 years, which gives him over 8 times the judicial experience as the incumbent. Prior to going to law school, he was a Michigan State Trooper. So he has a background in law and order, and he would be an excellent choice. The other is a full 8-year term, is Justice Viviano decided not to run for re-election. And we have a great choice there too, Andrew Fink from Hillsdale County. Andrew graduated from Hillsdale College, then the University of Michigan Law School. After graduating law school, he enlisted in the U.S. Marines to serve our country. When finishing his tour duty, he came back to Hillsdale County and practiced law in front of many courts, including the Michigan Supreme Court. For the last 4 years, he's served as a state representative from Hillsdale County, serves on the Judiciary Committee. He would be an excellent choice. I can tell you that Lapeer's own former state representative Gary Howell, whose final 2 years overlapped with Mr. Fink's first 2 years, would tell you that Andrew is a very, very bright individual and make a great Supreme Court justice. So I would urge you all to vote for Andrew Fink and Patrick O'Brady for the 2 Supreme Court seats in the November election. Thank you very much.
Okay, fire department.
All right, thank you. Good evening. Really, I have a couple things for you. A couple didn't make the agenda because I just thought about them today, and then the one guy sent in his application today. But the first thing that I would like to do, or get permission to do, is hire another lady to work in our office. She's a trained firefighter, Fire 1, Fire 2. Her name is Stephanie Lee. You guys might know Brian Lee. Remember Brian Lee? He was on the department for many years. It's his wife. And the issue that we're having, one is being that Kat, who works there now, wants to drop down, or has dropped down to 2 days a week. That leaves me 3 days a week that are not covered. And our daytime help as far as personnel is minimal. So what I would like to do is get permission to put on Stephanie Lee to work in the office 1 to 2, 3 days a week. Help Kat out with some things, and then help cover our day shift calls that we have. So if I could get permission to hire or put on Stephanie Lee.
I'll make the motion to hire Stephanie Lee to fill the empty days that we need during the day. Watch.
For the office.
Office.
Need a second?
Okay, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried.
Okay. And then a guy by the name of Ron Makowski. He's a retired lieutenant with 25 years out of Ferndale Fire. He lives over off of, off Baldwin Road. Yes. he lives there. He comes with 25 years' experience, he's been retired for about 5 years. He kind of wants to get back into it a little bit and help out. He said he's not a young buck, but as far as putting on an air pack, he would go in and fight fire, but he's not gonna go through 2-3 bottles like we all used to. But he wants to get involved, he wants to get back in the fire service, get back in the fire department. And
We need him.
we do need him, so if I could get permission to put on Ron Matowski.
I'll make a motion to put Ron Mikowski on. If everything checks out like you planned.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
Thank you.
Motion carried.
And then, just the last thing real quick is I was gonna talk to you guys today about it, nobody's here. We talked last month about the remodel over there, and we got a couple bids, and I talked to Sue about it real quick. She's got a couple ideas. The main problem that we have is the door that goes through there. And if we do it the way that we kind of have it, or I kind of have it set up now, is that door is gonna kind of go right through our main office. And she doesn't really want to lose that door, and I don't know if we can move it or do something with it, because as of right now, it would go right through the middle, and during elections and things like that, we're over there working and, going back and forth. So her thought was maybe to have somebody come in and look at what our other options are, because the guys that I had come in and look at it, I never really talked to them about it, because personally, I was okay with them having to do that twice a year, or however often they do it, but I can see where it's a big inconvenience and a big pain in the butt. So, I don't know if we want to put it off for a couple more months, maybe look at what our other options are and get better ideas on what to do, that way we only have to do it one time.
Okay.
Can you get somebody to make a little, like a sketch up so that we have something?
We can do that, I just need,
So that we are on the same page as you, just for
I have a
communication.
sketch made up of what I was gonna do, and I was gonna show that to you guys, but
Yeah.
if we're just gonna wait, I'll maybe have them come in and get with, Sue one day and look at what our options are, because I don't really know how to rework it. That's what the builders and them guys get paid to do, so maybe we could do that.
That might add to the cost, or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The question I have with one of the proposals, it was dated 9/2/24. It's on, this proposal may be withdrawn within 30 days, if not. So it's already,
they're all gonna be,
Yeah.
because,
you're
It's
gonna have to
been-
redo.
and I've been in contact with them all, so they're
Oh,
aware of
okay.
what's going on.
All right,
But now, we might have to start back over from
scratch.
scratch and,
Well, even those ones, if you can do some kind of
Yeah.
a sketch, so
Adjustment.
that way,
Yeah.
yeah, I can do that.
just to
easily.
make sure that,
Yeah,
it's what you're thinking and what
Well,
makes
get the
sense.
information from all of them
yeah.
as to what they think.
And I don't know if, I'm good with doing that, or putting it off to like after the holidays or whatever, I'm good with that. But I don't know what the possibility is of doing like some type of outbuilding. And I know we don't want nothing over there, I get it, but I don't know if there's something that, where the drive is along over there. I don't know if we could put in a concrete pad and have a shed or something put in there that would be, I have no storage, and the apparatus bay over there, I got stuff lined up against the walls, and you can't walk around the truck, you can't wash your truck, it's a pain in the rear. And it's been like that for a long time. And with the addition, it would give you a little bit more storage, but it's not gonna give me enough. And I got stuff over in Ryan's garage because I don't have room for it. And I know he doesn't appreciate that, and he needs storage, and Sue needs storage, and we don't have the room. So, I don't know if the option would be to look at, pouring maybe a little pad out back or something that we could put a big shed type thing on, where we could just throw all of our miscellaneous crap in it, or what our options are, but maybe it's something we could think about, maybe talk about later, I don't know. I know me and Ryan have kicked around the idea of talking, building, like having a barn built or something that we could have storage and park an extra car in there if we needed to, and maybe put like a workout training room in there or something like that. So just different ideas and thoughts that I have for
It sounds like a building extension
Something.
with a workout room and a facility to park
Sue
cars.
does have a storage problem that's growing, right?
Yeah.
With all the stuff that's required to keep also.
Yeah.
Maybe an architect would be in.
But I mean, it's something we can talk about more, but just maybe something to think about. And we'll discuss that further down the road maybe. That's all I have, thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Police business.
Good evening. For September 2024, we had 237 calls for service. 129 of those were traffic stops, 7 traffic offenses, 4 property damage accidents, only 2 car reverse deer property damage accidents, but the deer are definitely starting to move. 5 personal injury accidents, 1 operating while intoxicating arrest, and 2 warrant arrests. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about, but I'll let you know Officer Best is doing well. He didn't miss any work. He was involved. He received some injuries while attempting to arrest a suspect on a felony warrant. We had a felony warrant for assault with intent to do great bodily harm. He resisted arrest and ultimately assaulted Officer Best. The injuries that he sustained was contusion to his hip, contusion to his shoulder, multiple abrasions, and bruise on his left hip. The suspect is currently lodged in the Pierre County Jail, and he's sitting on a $250,000 bond. Another thing that's going on, just to make everybody aware, we have had people going door to door with political flyers, which they can do. But just to be aware, I'm sure everyone's seen on the news in Rochester Hills, we just had 2 people posing as DPE workers, went into a house and murdered the 72-year-old guy and tied up the wife with duct tape. Not sure if that was a targeted deal or not, but just something to be aware about. If people are coming to your house and you're not comfortable or you think it's suspicious, go ahead and contact 911 immediately. As far as training goes this month, we're working on our CJIS training. This Criminal Justice Information Services, which is the lean security. CJIS is a division of the FBI, and it's what guides us on how we have to protect criminal justice information. We're also working on TASER recertification, and tomorrow we actually have the department shoot in our TASER practical. Next month we have CPR recert and SFST refresher. The only other thing I have is I have a request to purchase a 2024 Chevrolet Tahoe 4-wheel drive PPV from Berger Chevrolet in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in the amount of $54,702. The price is based off the My Deal pricing. My Deal is the state of Michigan's extended purchasing program that allows us to buy things on the state contracts. This will eventually replace our 2016 Ram Patrol truck, which currently has approximately 120,000 miles. Right now, patrol vehicles are really hard to come by. And we could get on the list for an allocation, which is an allocation list, not a guarantee, for 2025. However, the fleet managers can't give us a price. They're talking a 5 to 10% increase minimum. From 2023 to 2024, it's a $12,000 increase. So obviously 2025 with the refresh would be more. So Berger Chevrolet actually had an agency back out of 2 of them. So we would be able to get the 2024 pricing.
Do you have it in your account?
We do.
Then I'll make a motion to allow our chief to purchase the $54,702 price from Berger in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's a 2024 Chevrolet Tahoe.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
Thank you. I have nothing else unless you have any questions for me.
Okay, thank you. Township resolution.
So I got a resolution, this is a resolution from you regarding, I'm asking for approval for this resolution. This is part of the North Ridge subdivision and resurfacing fund. So when we loaned the money, we created a fund within our accounting system that because we loaned the money, we show a negative balance. When we show a negative balance, we have to put together what's called a multi-year deficit elimination plan for the state of Michigan. It's intuitive, right? We loaned the money with a negative balance. So the plan basically defines the payback schedule, including the interest we earn, fees we gain, even the investment of the money. So we are projected to pay back this, or they're projected to pay back to us by about 2031, which is earlier than anticipated based on the projections I have. So I have to file this with the state of Michigan, so I'm asking for someone to second this.
A motion, or I'll second.
I think it's gotta be a roll call.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Derderian,
Yes.
Chouinard, yes. Benscoter,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Clark, yes.
All right. PA 116.
All right, so I, back in September, I had a couple that, dropped off a PA 116 application. I'm not really familiar with it, but it's put in my hands, so I reached out to Gary Howell, talked to him. He told me there was a few steps I had to do, which was, get it approved by the Conservation District, and I also put it, sent it to the county commissioners and got it approved on their agenda. The Conservation District approved it, and so the last step before I send this off to the state of Michigan is our board approval for this, these two parcel IDs. So it's a, I guess, P 116 is a farmland development right agreement, which is a temporary restriction on land between the state and a landowner voluntarily entered in by a landowner, preserving their land for agriculture in exchange for certain tax benefits and exemptions for various special assessments. So this parcel, well, there's two parcels in there for almost 23 acres. So I'll make the motion to approve the PA 116 application submitted by the applicants Michael Epling and Amy Hagan for approximately 23.16 acres in section number 12, town number 6N, range NE, parcels number 44-015-012-001-03, and parcel number 44-015-012-001-04, for a period of 10 years, and on October 14, 2024, recommends approval of the said application.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Does that have to be a roll call?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Motion carried.
That's a mouthful.
It helps protect their land.
Township board discussion. Got anything?
No.
All right.
We need one more then.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I forgot to say, hey, Don, the fire department did a nice job at Murphy this week.
Thank you, I think that's what a bunch of people.
I forgot, I was going to, I have a thank you note, but, the kids all signed it.
Dan said he had a blast doing that.
Yeah, much better this year. He showed my fire extinguishers, and, it was good, so, it was good, he did a good job.
Thank you, I like hearing that.
That worked out for us too.
Well,
Yeah, it did.
Teaching them how to use the fire extinguisher.
I told all the kids, I
Our
was like,
golf cart caught on fire.
Yeah.
And Kyle knew from out there, how to put it out. Good.
from when he was in elementary school.
It's part of right next to my barn too.
One of those kids learned how to pull the wire alarm this week.
Yeah. Don't forget your,
That was awesome.
I served 30 minutes down there.
3 grand.